this country will tell themselves the truth. Are they practicing democracy? I know that the current Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration will say, but it didn't start, obviously it didn't start with his administration, but it's somebody who is going to correct that. It is somebody who is going to say, we have not been practicing what we say we are practicing. Can you share it individually? What is your conscience? What is it, the oath you took to defend justice, stand by justice? I think that was what happened during 2006 or thereabout, when Peter Obi became the governor. Do we still have people like that? Yes. But, when I talk about, judges, but praise, sometimes people who are willing and ready to stand by justice against all odds might have other arrows and other, threats facing them. Right? Why did I say so? You wouldn't come and tell me that every judge in this country, we have so many of them, is corrupt. And I perceive that sometimes most of them, instead of them soiling their hands, they rather stand afar, but it's not helping us, right? Every profession, every career has its own hazards and risks. Okay? Some persons will say, okay, I don't want them to kill me, I don't want them to do this, and I don't want... Standing afar will not fix, just like we are calling Nigerians to, when you see something, you say something. Security is everybody's business. Politicians, you should, give good governance by the monies that are being disbursed for infrastructure, use it appropriately. It is also like that in the judiciary. No matter the threat, you have signed up for this profession, you have signed up for this career. Stand by it. When you see that your colleagues or your counterparts are not doing the right thing, even if you are not part of that case, at least say something so that Nigeria will know that they have somebody. So that they will know that there are people in that particular institution whom the maladies happening in that institution is eating up, it's worrying. But when all of them are keeping quiet, nobody is saying anything, it's assumed that all of you are corrupt.
Yeah. Well said, Ife. Well said. I'm going to start from very quickly from what former President of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo, just said, where he criticized our model of democracy, not just in Nigeria, but
Africa.
What is practiced across much of Africa. And the major takeaway from what he said is that it lacks the African context, and it has created a certain mindset within us as Africans. And he also talked about that the Western liberal democracy inherited by many African countries was not designed around our continent's reality. That means we just swallowed everything
hook, line, and sinker
the Western world gave us. The US is practicing democracy. That's like our model, what we look at and say, okay, we are practicing democracy. But when in actual sense, when we look at what the US is practicing and we look at what Nigeria is saying we are practicing as democracy, I mean, they are divergent.
Two parallel lines that can never meet.
Worlds that I don't know if they will meet in the future, but for now, it's not possible.
Yeah.
Now, when we talk about Western liberalism, there are core principles it promotes. For instance, individual liberty. For instance, the rule of law. It is anchored on the people. The people are at the center of it. It limits the power of the government, unlike
where the power of the government comes first before the people.
And do you understand? Yeah. So, unlike the Russia, for instance, where it's a communist state, it is the government that determines, or the days of Mussolini, where it was an authoritarian system, kind of government, where it was like, oh, the government of the day has absolute power. Now, I think the problem with African democracy is the people, not democracy itself. Now, what do I mean? You see, in any fair system, there must be equality. Equality in the sense that the institutions that should check the people do their work. The leaders are subject not necessarily they bend to their whims and caprices, but they honor institutions. What institutions? The legislative arm of government, the judiciary, the civil society. These are critical. The security architecture, religious bodies. Not that they anything they tell them, they take and they no. What I mean is, they are able to take advice. This body, these institutions check leaders.
Regulate them.
They regulate their power. Oh, Mr. President, you are going the extreme.
Typical example of what happened between the lawmakers and President Trump during the Strait of Hormuz issue.
Do you understand?
Yes.
They called the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, come and explain. They called the secretary to the president, come and explain. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That is number one. And then, Nigeria, we are so unique. Ethnicity is a major thing we cannot exterminate from our conversations. We are so unique in the sense that we have over 250 ethnic groups, but it looks as though a certain ethnic group dominates the other. It's an aberration to our democracy.
I agree.
So that's why I say it's not about democracy itself. It's about the people who are custodians of the democracy to say, look, let's have an inward reassessment of ourselves. Are we really practicing democracy? You see, I don't think Nigeria is designed to practice democracy. And why do I think so? I think so because our leaders, it is innate. But if I'm extreme in my belief, but it's my opinion, it is innate in them to be biased, to be self-centered.
Based on their ethnicity.
And you know the funniest thing, Ify? If you go to primary schools today and secondary schools today, and you ask some young boys and girls, what do you want to be? Some of them will tell you, I want to be a politician. And then when you tell them why you want to be a politician, when they tell you why they want to be, I want to make money. That is the the idea, the philosophy that have been sold to them directly or indirectly. And there is a problem, because our leaders don't see, some of them don't think with the future in mind. So they just do what they want to do for the now. That's why I say the problem of Nigeria